Not sure I believe it, but it says it. So we will sit here for a second and wait for people to pop in before I get to the recap, and then start answering questions and roughly just rambling on to carry on the live chat. We do have a hard stop at right near 4 p.m. if not before that. So we will be stopping at 4 if not before. We will see how the questions go because sometimes we only go an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. But I will be I will be putting the brakes on at 4 o'clock if we have not stopped before. So, all right, we have people coming in. So welcome in everyone. Let's go ahead and hit. Wow, my mind just blanked out, guys. I'm really sorry. It is October 2025. The recap starts with the fact that Princely Mistakes Aether's 11 just came out at the beginning of the month. It is doing what Aether does. Um, it for those on audio, it is not that big of a spoiler to say it is the basically the end of the Kroga arc. So for those who are on audio only, there is that to look for. Let's see. The 9 years of me being a writer, 9 years published, was on the 3rd of this month. And I have gotten 27 of the 30 winners their prizes. I think it's one on Discord and two on Facebook that have not replied to me yet. So good job by and large for you guys. There are at least, I think, two people from last month's live chat who have not replied to me at all, which is frustrating. So remember to check your Twitch messages, like tomorrow, the day after. Definitely by the end of the week, I will have sent the 5 people that I draw messages asking for their coin and their shipping information. It will be directly from me, and it basically just says, "Congratulations, you won a coin. What coin do you want? Where am I sending it?" That's all the information I need. All the information I'm going to ask you for. The only other thing that I will have to ask you for if you are overseas is for your proper name for the goddamn customs forms. Because for the people who are international, you very well might get hit with taxes, fees, and duties on your end, depending on your custom officials. I have seen that go as high as 2763 before. I don't remember which country. So while I don't charge you guys anything to ship them out, and I pay the shipping on my end, on your guys' end, there might still be a fee associated with getting that coin, and that is entirely up to whatever the customs uh, cost and stuff is on your guys' end. So do be aware of that as well. I think that pretty much covers that. We do have the scroll along the bottom. We do have the audio for Heavenly Chaos 3 on pre-order. It comes out in 2 weeks, guys. Yay! We can finally get Andy voices for that. AL5 is with Podium. I don't have any other information on that. And Andy started recording Aether's 11 today. So she will be done by the end of the month. It goes to her audio person. It gets proofed. It gets corrected. With the way that normally goes, I would say late November, early December ish, probably for Aether's 11. So things to look forward to. Do we not have questions yet? Okay. Well, what is this? Live comments from viewers will appear on screen. Oh, cool. Hey, look, I get like basically a Twitch thing. I get a Twitch stream that can stream there just because it'll go over to. Should I? No, I probably shouldn't. I was about to say I throw it over to YouTube from Twitch after this. And I don't know how that would play or not play well with Twitch's comments scrolling by. So let's not do that just in case. Yay, questions. I am currently writing Antecedents 6. Heavenly Chaos 4 is with my editors. You guys can see there when the quote unquote expected release dates are. I say expected because I should hit them unless something terrible happens. And then as soon as I finish writing Antecedents, I'll be rolling back into the next Aethers. This is right around the time, guys, where I'll find out if a 3-book rotation is copacetic for my brain or not. This year going forward is where I'm going to be able to judge that. For everyone who was asking me in 24, I only got through one rotation basically. So it's 25 where I'm going to be able to tell, yes, I'm going to stay with 3 books, or no, I really need to go back to 4 books for my own processing. Um, so we will find out through 25 together. Is that? I am going to be at the Reader Nation, the Reader Day of the Author Nation in Vegas. I will be there that one day. So if you are in the Vegas area on November, hang on, 7th, I will be there that day. My table is going to be right next to Dakota's, so I should be able to mooch people's interest off of him, and then hopefully some of you guys will be there as well. I know that Yia was there last year, and I got to say hi. So I have met fans who have been there. But if you're going to be in Vegas on the 7th of November, I don't think they're charging anyone this year. Last year you had to pay to get into Reader Nation, and that was silly in the extreme. I don't believe this year you have to pay. I think you still have to quote unquote sign up because they need a tally of how many people have come to the show, as it were. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna get to questions now because me trying to talk by myself doesn't work, as you can tell, guys. What sort of writing ritual do you do before you start? It's not really a ritual. I mean, I normally write first thing in the morning, so get up, get my walk in, have some breakfast, um, come sit down at my desk with a cup of coffee, get my documents up and running, make sure I have music on, start writing. There's nothing like specific that I do. I just go about the normal daily routine. There's nothing like specifically to my writing where I have to adjust things or make sure I have a lucky pen out or anything like that. So I can't say that there's any real ritual involved in it. How's the Kickstarter thing going? It funded through we got basically the chunk. I think there were 9 people who didn't correct their payment information, so they get dropped off of they get dropped off. Um, I know that there is still, I think, crap, late. Like you can jump in and get a book at this point. Still, I don't think you can get the remaining book boxes that were there. You might be able to. I'm not positive. But I know the books still have like late showing up. That is at the moment it isn't the book part of it is in the process of being compiled for the the binding. I have to make sure everything is set up, that the chapter uh, art is there, and so on and so forth. All that is going to get done. Then we go. Then we. I don't do any of this. Jen will go and basically order the number we need. We are, as you have to with when you're doing fulfillment like this, you have to order. I think it's like 10% over because you're always going to have damages and losses. Um, so we do have to order at least some over to make sure we can cover any issues that happens. There we go. So thank you very much. So there is that. And then the process, like the little the tumblers, the coasters, all that. Once the surveys are out and we have 100%, this is what's been added on and everything else, then we can go forward with the, hey, let's go ahead and order all of these and get things going. I have been assured that everything should still be well on time for our fulfillment date. And of course, if anything changes, we will update you. I am sure that there will be updates about, yay, guys, we've ordered things. Don't worry. So I'm sure that at least notes about what is in process and what is going on will tick out to everyone as things go. Wow. But really, guys, it was just over just over 60,000, and it was 50 50 something after Kickstarter and Pledge Manager and stuff all take their cuts off the top. And then, we have to go out and actually order everything and get them in and then ship them out. So it's not going to be that much, but there will still be profit at the end of it at the very least. So that is what matters. It is not a deficit. Already pre-ordered Heavenly Chaos 3. Glad to hear that Aether's 11 might be on them. I would really expect more in December, but it depends because Andy's going to record it. Like I said, she'll finish by the end of the month, barring life. Her person goes through it. Um, Proofing happens, corrections happen. Because once the corrections happen, we just kick it over, and then it can take any amount of time for Audible, ACX and Audible to do their thing. They always have a deadline. You need to give it to us by X date in November to guarantee it's out before Christmas. So we'll have me and Andy will have to see how where that shakes out and everything else. We'll get it out to you guys as fast as we can, though, as we always try to do when there's not a publisher holding things up. Favorite harem anime? Um, like the protagonist knows it's a harem, or that there's multiple women interested in the main character. Brian, I need that clarified first, because those are two different things in some cases. Where you as the watcher go totally harem, and the main character's like, none of these women are interested in me. So I need to know which of those you're talking about first. What you're asking whether or not I put an inside joke from He Who Fights with Monsters into the book, and if it was on purpose. I mean, I've never referenced other authors' works before, like people staying in room 42 or anything similar. So having in that case, my favorite anime will default to what is still one of my favorite animes to this day, which is going to be Gate. So the Self Defense Force fought. I really enjoyed that anime. I liked a protagonist who still kind of ticks the normal protagonist boxes, but at the same time doesn't as well. It was a lot of fun. That and watching, dragons get taken out with uh, missiles and stuff was also a lot of fun to watch. Haven't been reading the preview chapters of Heavenly Chaos 4, the few you put on Patreon, so good. Lots of foreshadowing in the early chapters. I do. The first chapter's out for the public now, so I don't mind at least addressing this. For those people who are not Patreon backers, the first chapter is still up on Patreon, so you can just go over and look at it. If you go to my Patreon page, you don't have to pay for it. You don't have to become a free member. It's open to the public, or it should be. If it's not, I'll fix it. The first chapter, I do something that I don't like doing. It's a departure for me. I go to other characters in the universe at large for snippets. Now, those snippets do, of course, 100% immediately correlate back to the main story. It's you're not there. There's no I wonder where these people are going to show up kind of thing. The stuff that is addressed instantly ties back to the main story. Um, but I did give you something that was far and away nowhere near Benedict at the time. Something I normally don't do and dislike. Um, I wanted to try it out, and in this case, it works because it does address some things in the overarching story that I know people have been chomping at the bit for. So hopefully it helps with the teething problems for those individuals. Um, and I think it works without pulling away from the story. If for whatever reason people just skipped that first chapter and didn't read it, I don't think that they're going to miss a lot because a lot of that is still going to at least be quickly referred to when information comes back later in the story. But I did try something different. I've always been curious. Do you write the title out first of the book and then continue the story, or do you continue the story and then make up the title afterwards? 9 times out of 10, the title comes like halfway or later as I'm writing the book. I try to get the title and the art also to quasi line up. The one that was the hardest to do that with was Princely Mistakes. With Aether's art being what it is, very very austere, very like this is an item on a black background. Um, that one was a little harder for me to accomplish. But normally I have written at least part of the story before I get the title and art. Um, Funnily enough, Antecedents 6, I knew the title and the art ahead of time before I started writing it all. Because I knew what the story was. I already knew Badger and Co. I already knew this is a major plot point. You can go ahead and do this. So there was that. Have you possibly thought about doing a online live stream TTRPG with other authors, or would it be much of a time crunch? Um, I mean, I don't want to run one. I don't have I have even stopped running my local game with friends because I don't have the mental bandwidth to run a game for the people here and continue carrying stories on like normal writing. That I was really starting to just slack off, even just doing modules like I had been for the last couple of years. I just couldn't get the energy to prep out. So I felt really bad. Um, Showing up and playing for a game is a lot easier, especially with my characters are if it's D&D, I know what I need to do in any given situation. Um, so like if another author was running one and we're like, hey, we'd like you to be there, then yeah, more than likely, depending on how often they wanted to meet and stuff. If it was a one-off, that's easier. If it was like an ongoing thing, then it would depend on time constraints. How often they want to meet, how big of a time block are they looking for. 1 second. I have something I need to do. Okay. Um, so possibly, if it wasn't me running the game, and depending on if it was a one-off or an ongoing campaign, and then depending on time needed and how often it was needed. I love playing. I don't have the energy anymore to run one, as sad as that is. Question: They're in the last year of Kroga. I can't answer that. They are leaving Kroga in book 12. I'm not saying anything else. About halfway through Princely Mistakes. So far, so good. Thank you for being one of them. No problem, Xander. Nikki and Xander. Thank you for enjoying it. I am happy that people read them and enjoy them. The people who can and do leave reviews, an extra thank you on top of that. For those people who have blitzed through the book and left a review early to help counter some of the negative reviews, especially that seem to be popping up more and more when I launch books right at the start, which is really odd. Um, triple thank you to you as well. I had a question about Makar in Aether's 11. How come he doesn't have his mother's last name? Is Magi name different or like a calling card? Will the Pedits earn a different name later? Um, More than likely, they wanted just a little bit of separation. He when when Makar was born, she might have still been decent terms with the father, and that might be the father's last name. He never told me, so I can't say. Mostly Nightcore. It's upbeat, it's fast, it's in the background. Um, I have no problem with music being in the background. Even with lyrics, it doesn't bother me. If somebody starts talking though, like I can't have Andy on and right because that's somebody talking. So I stop. My brain says somebody's talking to you. You should be paying attention right now. So music though, since I grew up around music basically nearly every year of my life, music being in the background doesn't bother me in the least, and it helps give me some background noise so things just flow easier. And Kiffy asked the same thing. Why don't you like doing spoilers? Nobody really likes spoilers. It's like being psyched up, being really excited for the next season of let's say Fallout. The next season of Fallout, you're really excited. But you can't get to. Oh, they're going away. Okay. But you can't get to the first episode in the first day or whatever, and then the very first thing you hear, after the show is over, you're, just checking emails or something online, and it's, oh my God, this happened in the first episode. Nobody likes that. I do the same thing here. No spoilers, guys. Especially for since some of my fans are audio only. Until the audio is out, I try not to talk about a whole lot because those people haven't gotten around to it. They might be here because they can listen, they can have this in the background while they're doing stuff, but they don't have the time for whatever reason to sit down and read. Whether that's because they're a trucker, because they're stuck in an office all day, they're a mechanic like my best friend. That's why I don't do spoilers. Do you choose music based on what you're writing? Um, Mostly no. Mostly no. Occasionally, if a song for whatever reason has really clicked with something, like the first Lux voice I had, holding out for a hero was on repeat. The Anna Pantsu version of it. Um, it just sometimes I get stuck on something and that one just fit. But normally I just have a Nightcore on in the background. Oh. Do you enjoy writing adversaries for the main characters to overcome? Are they a necessary evil to push the story forward? That's going to depend on what kind of story you're writing, Raz. Normally, there's always going to be somebody who disagrees with you. and then whatever level of petty bullshit that is going to be. Everyone in life has somebody who is just constantly in their way, whether that's somebody at your job, um, a family member. There's always just somebody who just irritates the shit out of you normally. So for a slice of life, that can be an adversary, just very simple, nothing high stakes. So normally there has to be something that helps continue to give the characters something to try to work past it. And sometimes it doesn't need to be a person, it can just be the situation. Adversaries can be just like the weather. If you're caught outdoors in a blizzard, you weren't prepared for it, that's still an adversarial condition. um, there are some antagonists that are fun to write, um, and there are some that I detest and I wish I didn't have to write them, but the story calls for them. And if that's what the story calls for, that's what my characters have told me, I'm going to write it. So, I mean, it all comes down, but normally does there have to be an adversary? There's going to be something that the characters are struggling with and overcoming, even if that's just relationship adversity. So, how much do you think you'll pull from old classic sci-fi stories for AL as far as planet level weapons? I don't know. I'll tell you once Badger tells me. Just with the way I write, that's just the way it is. I recommended AR to a friend and he likes them. Well, I appreciate that, Bobcat. Thank you. Word of mouth helps a lot. How do you take your bitter bean? I take mine with just a little splash of half and half normally. If for whatever reason I have run out of half and half, I put a little dab of butter in it. Butter works. As odd as it is for a lot of people, butter is just a form of freaking milk, guys. It's just another form of cream. It's just another form of dairy. If you're fine with half and half, there's not a whole lot different. Just make sure it's butter and not oil based. Make sure it's actual, dairy. The sample book I saw at the con was absolutely incredible. That's what they should look like on the outside. Of course, the sample one was blank on the inside. We should not have blank books going out to people. But yeah, it's a beautiful design. Jen of did a lot of work for the Kickstarter. Do you know why Podium takes so long to release? Because they're a company and companies have their own schedules of things. I know that when they get the file, it goes through their audio proofers, their audio corrections, then things got to be corrected, then it's got to go back, then it's got to get put on their schedule because they don't want to release too many things that are similar all at the same time, and so on and so forth. I mean, they're a company, they're trying to maximize their profits. Do you have any opinions on people sending holiday gifts to you? I'm not a big holiday person, honestly. Um, I'm like, go ahead. So, um, I'm also not a big knickknack person. Um, as I've repeatedly told my family members before. If you get me a knickknack, a trinket, something that's supposed to sit there and look shiny, um, at some point I'm probably going to give it away to somebody else. Unless it's just like, this is amazing, this is absolutely me. Even if it's just something that it's like, oh, that's nice, that's really sweet, it looks good, I'm probably not going to keep it. Most of the stuff you see on the shelves behind me, not mine. I mean, outside of the books, most of the stuff back there, not mine. I am not a keepsake individual. Um, so um, if you guys want to send stuff, that's fine. That's why I have a PO box. Um, message me and let me know you sent something because I don't get to that PO box very often. But I am not a keepsake knickknack person. So I am actually not a big Scotch individual. Um, I like a lot of bourbon. There's some whiskeys I'm good with. Um, very few scotches. I think there's only been one or two scotches out of all the scotches I try. My dad loves scotch, um, but I'm not a huge scotch individual. Um, rum I'm okay with. My best friend likes a dark rum, so if I do rums, normally it's a dark rum because then I can occasionally pawn some rum off on him. Um, but I got like fuck, I probably have a full liquor cabinet full of different bourbons and stuff. But I don't drink much. Honestly, most of my drinking takes place at conventions during dinner. I'll have a drink, maybe two any given night. Then outside of those times, I have like 5 drinks a year. I'm really I'm just not a big drinker. Have you been impacted badly by the Audible credit change? Oh God. Um, the hard part about this is most of us will never know because Audible is a subsidiary of Amazon, and their clarity on how and where everything is going and what you're getting and everything like that is about as clear as dried mud. It's not. Um, we know what we've been told. We know what has been seen and looked at by various individuals who can spend the time to do such things. Um, but the only way I'm going to tell is if in 2 months what I normally get from Audible has been cut in like half. And that'll be where I go, oh, obviously this is now a problem. So the majority of my income is KU, then Amazon for ebooks, um, and then actually Patreon and Audible run pretty close together. So I would only know if there was a significant change. At the moment, I have not seen that, but that with what they're doing, that can change month to month. I know an AR koi is a big fish they have for the solstice. Are there other aetherfish? Well, notably, the Empire doesn't have a whole lot of coastline. Um, we, koi specifically has been called out. They have not told me specifically for any other fish, but any food can be adjusted and added to. But for like the higher end things, you would need something that specifically was highly infused with aether. Um, but Paul, as you very well know, you've been a long time fan. If I have not put it in a book, we don't know. Technically, part of 12 is is Kroga. Yes, you guys are very fixated on that. I have to say, I blame my spicy spectrumness, but I can't stop laughing at Garfield doing a headstone in the background. That's not a Garfield. That's a meth field. That's one of the many meth fields. Garfield's drugged out cousin. And yeah, I didn't realize he had toppled over earlier. So normally he's sitting there behind the geese brain jar, but apparently I'm gonna say one of the cats probably got up on top of my filing cabinet and knocked him over. I might have messed up this year for my wife's birthday. She loves wishing wells, and she had mentioned getting a new one. So I found someone to make her a wishing well that has a mailbox in the peak. How I might have fucked up is I cannot go backwards in thought complexity and money next year. I am not sure how long. Somewhere in there, I am losing the thread. Normally, you can't go backwards in time. You can almost always make things easier. If you've already paid for a product, then no, you're kind of stuck with the product. So I don't know. Do the characters in your current series surprise you as much as those from earlier series? Any series can give me a what the hell just happened here moment. I just don't think any will be quite as big as Sean. Speaking of cover art, is there a series that you would like to redo like you did with Binding Words? I mean, uh, sure, some covers could use an update. When I think I'd already put. I don't know. I need to go look now. It's gonna bother me. 1 second, guys. I am going to go look something up real quick, and I will let you know something in just a moment. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, so I had already put the different cover on the Last Horizons omnibus before. I am currently slowly working my way through trying to clean that up a little bit before I try to find an editor to retackle it one more time. The audio is down because I got my audio rights back from Tantor. So if you guys own the audio for Last Horizons beta and live, congratulations. It's no longer up for sale. Once I get all the way through the omnibus and I get it re-edited again, I'm going to have it re-recorded. And then that audio will be up as just the omnibus. I think I also pulled down the ebook versions of beta and live. So it should just be the Last Horizons omnibus now. That's up on ebook and there's nothing up for audio. So I don't have to redo that cover. Like I never got through some of the covers that I would like to redo. For those who remember the original cover for Apocalypse Gates 2, that cover changed as well. So I do redo covers here or there. Paul, who was redoing the covers for some of the Binding Word stuff, is doing different covers for me. He's the one who's currently doing the Antecedents and Heavenly Chaos covers. So no, don't really have time to have him do other things now. The thing that you want, Brian, when you're dropping rods is as little interference as possible. They as aerodynamic as they can, so there's nothing slowing their descent more than necessary. I'm pretty sure shaping one like a spork would do that. Painting a spork on them would be possible, but making them a spork would change how air resistance interacts with them. Will you play games at the next Lit RPG Con? I am going to have a table at the next Lit RPG Con, so it is unlikely, Frank. I'm not saying it is guaranteed that it will not happen, but it is unlikely. I don't know the game, Frank, so I can't say. How the turntables? Um, I'm not positive. I love some of the reviews bashing the harem elements when it is clearly listed as a freaking harem. What gets me is when people complain about the slow pace and and the romance options on book 11 of a series. Those are the ones that always make me go, I don't understand. It's been obvious through the rest of the series, but okay. I swear I haven't given you a negative review. I I I actually try not to track them anymore, MV. So I don't know who does or who has, but when they say, "Well, I used to love this author's work, but this book lost me," and I'm like, "But the book was it's not like I suddenly, changed something. I didn't change my writing style. The story is progressing the way that it looked like it was progressing all along. So now I'm confused." I do not. My friend Sean reads the shit out of manga when he gets home. That's his decompression. I do not. I am lucky if I have an hour every night to read books, and I prefer books. So I will find out this year, and this year is when it'll really start clicking for me. So I will start to figure out in 25 if it is a solid plan or not. Um, well, I catch some of Andy doing them while she records them, and then I normally go through and proof them to make sure that there hasn't been a mistake. And then I used to, and I haven't for like the last year now. I used to listen to them while I was on my walks, my morning walks, because an hour plus a day. But I haven't done that. I've been just listening to music for the last year. But yes, is a very long-winded way of just saying yes. If you had the options, what stop series would you restart? I would actually at least like to. I would love to go back and at least do a second book in Resurrection Quest. It was an okay place to to stop because it did so badly. But if I didn't have to worry about bills or anything else, and everybody spending 2 months of my life on something that would never amount to anything, I would do a hard fast forward and wrap up Resurrection Quest Book 2. Um, that is not going to happen. I am not putting time and effort into something that did so abysmally badly. But if if options to me, the if options is uh, basically an open-ended wish. So that's fair enough, McKnight. I mean, you know, if you're not a fan of something, it's okay. Um, that is something that hasn't been talked about outside of Andy recording things, Frank. Been better, been worse. Um, life is life. You tackle each day as it comes up and hope that tomorrow is better than today. I mean, it's all you really can do. So nothing terrible, nothing fabulous. It just is. I have tried sake twice. I was not a fan of either of them. They were just like average sakis, though. They weren't like anything special. Um, so one of these days I might try another one, but the other two didn't wow me. What magic do you think you'd have if you were tested at Aether's Blade? What magic does your soul yearn for? Out of out of what is available in the Aether's universe that I have been told exists in the Aether's universe? Okay. Discounting Gregory who breaks everything. Um, honestly, out of all of that, it would be spatial. Honestly, how much of your time could you regain if you could just go from, hey, I'm here at my desk to, oh, hey, look, I'm here at my job? in the span of a second or two. No daily commutes. No, oh, I have to fight with traffic. Be amazing. If it wasn't that, it would be 100% shadow, and there are reasons for that that I won't get into. It's a bottom feeder, much like catfish. Um, you can eat it. I am not a big fish person, but pretty sure I answered that one. Okay, cool. I have apparently blitzkrieg through questions, guys. So, wow, I've almost caught up to you guys already. Today totally sucks at work. So tell me something good. How are you doing, DJ? Is your health okay? Um, my potassium levels were substantially low. I am now on an extended release potassium every other day. Um, my carbon dioxide, I think it was slightly higher than it should be. So I might have the beginnings of sleep apnea. Not great. Not something that is being looked at this time because it wasn't terrible. My blood pressure on the meds has remained stable. Having COVID a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, because we made the mistake of going to the doctor's office for something else, and people there are people. Um, that was unpleasant. Honestly, overall, I'm fine. Like as I stated just a minute ago, nothing good, nothing bad, just is. She thought I was very nice, Keefe. Thank you. I am sorry. I am really bad at passing messages back and forth. So I'm very bad at. Oh, this is from so. Here you go. Oh, it's really nice. Tell them thank you next time. Okay, blank. So I apologize. A more technical question in Aether's 11. We see a lot happening, but even more we didn't see on screen as time passed. What what my characters tell me. This is this is this is an important moment. This is what we're going to talk about. Okay. Did anything did anything important happen in the last month, Greg? Well, there was this one thing. Okay, let's talk about that then. Tell me about that. Like being a therapist. Let's talk about the important thing that happened in the last month to you. I think he meant he made this big gesture and he's not sure if next year he can make an equal one besides a big gesture for a birthday. Ah, okay. Rocket. Thank you. I don't know if that is the case. If that is the case, my answer to that is you're never going to be able to. By and large, you cannot keep escalating unless you're somebody like Bezos or Musk. You're just never going to be able to. And if it's somebody who loves you, they should understand that. Love shouldn't be in the expensive gift you give, but in the time and effort that you put into the relationship. They're really nice. They're very flattering when they happen. But just because last year you had this amazing thing doesn't mean this year also has to be a silly, massive, impressive thing as well. Um, honestly, uh, taking a solid day or two off of other obligations and doing just stuff, excuse me, that your partner enjoys doing can also be can actually be words can actually be more touching than some kind of massive gesture overall. So no, you shouldn't think that, oh, I have to, how do I keep equaling this massive thing that I did? Will you be doing any appeasements of fans when the primary relationship people in AR are split for the next postings? Do you think you'll have to time jump fast to get them back together again? No. Honestly, the biggest complaint I had was the fact that there was too much time spent on relationships in Krogan. I was just like, well, cool. It's not like that group of people is going to be together all the time. And there's technically a whole lot of shit that happened in Kroga. Um, but no, I'm not planning on specifically like trying to just skip, however many years and then, okay, they're all Grand Masters now or elders or whatever. Um, I'll continue to tell the story my characters tell me. I don't try to appease the fans. You will go crazy if you try this. Last Horizons, it was basically just beta and live put together into one book. McKnight. How far ahead of you are you writing? My editors have Heavenly Chaos, which is going to be in December, and I am currently writing Antecedents Legacy 6, which is going to be in February. So I am ahead. One of these days I have to try Resurrection Quest. Haha, man, rest in peace. I loved what that series had the potential of being, and I'm very sad. On the other, like I said though, I console myself with because that series failed, Aethers was born. It basically that slot became Aethers, so I can't complain. Can you see yourself doing a spin-off of Dungeon Walkers? No. Um, the characters had story. I don't plan to go back and revisit the that universe at this point. I have a lot of other stories that I would like to tell, so bananas do have potassium. Um, I don't keep specific foods around though, so I don't have any big questions for AR, mostly because I'm sure you don't want to spoil anything. Heavenly Chaos books seem to be a wonderful tale. We have 6 weeks or so to wait, and I'll admit that Antecedents didn't sing to me, so I'm not following it. That's fine. And once again, not every series is for everyone. I would rather you not read it than you quote unquote forcing yourself to read it and hate it. When people say things like, I really wish he wouldn't write this series, he could spend more time writing Heavenly Chaos. That's not going to happen. It would just be another series in that spot. So if that series doesn't work for you, I understand. In Heavenly Chaos, are there limits for the kind of spheres that one can get? We've heard and seen the elements, and others were natural phenomenon, and even some for personal enhancement. But are concepts possible? At the moment, because it has not been talked about in any way, shape, or form, if you believe it is possible, then it is possible. If I have not addressed it specifically in the books, it is open for fan interpretation until I address it in the books. That is just how I am. Has the bad Daniel Nerf gun or Pool Noodle of Doom made an appearance lately? Not recently. We're looking to get a different chair for Sammy. Um, she has a identical chair to mine, but it's been bothering her. So we're looking for a replacement that she will enjoy, that won't cause her issues. Um, and then possibly I will start getting shot with the Nerf gun again. I'll admit I want to see Greg meet Mortuma the Traveler. I'm wondering when you will make that happen. If if it happens, when it happens, I'll I'll find out probably a few months before you guys do. Honestly, the way things go. Discord post some suggested that what the gods' weapons are theirs lifetime after lifetime. Is that talked about in the books? We the only thing that has been talked about in the books to this point is Krog's axe in his altar, in Aether's temple in Krogheim, and Aether's blade sunken into the floor at the academy. And those have both been roundly talked about as those were weapons of those individuals. There has been nothing that I can remember that specifically stated that was Krog's axe from a lifetime before he was Krog, kind of thing. So is that possible? Yes. Is it also possible to not be that? Also, yes. I normally let the fan the fans spitball on Discord. I rarely jump in and add my 2 cents to those conversations because if it's not addressed in the books, I leave it alone. If people want to hypothesize and spin things, I normally let them as long as they're staying polite to each other. Um, so I guess we'll find out together, Cranky. My wife used to ask me what I wanted for Christmas, and my reply was a pickup truck. So every year she would get me a toy truck. I mean, if you're not specifying, the criteria has been met. Don't know how to ask this properly, but Heavenly Chaos are as you level up, you can slow your aging. Is there a linear chart? We haven't had any discussions in the series on exactly what that means. So no, there's not. I also do not normally give charts and diagrams of things that have not been discussed, and even things that have been discussed. I very rarely have extra bits that I will give to people. So that's a bit excessive for a time skip, honestly. I am almost caught up on questions again, guys. Apparently, I'm just ripping through things today. I don't know. Maybe I can honestly say I probably have not rambled on any question excessively today. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I know I'm still waiting for Dragon Con to post the fantasy track videos. In fact, I'm gonna go. Hang on a second. Doop, doo, 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 doo. Nope, still not up yet. The fantasy track at Dragon Con had cameras and supposedly the microphone soundboard also running through. Um, and we were told that the videos would eventually go up. They have not been put up yet because I know that I was on a lot of different fantasy track stuff. So there will be some panels eventually. They have like last year's are up, um, but the ones I was on from this year are not up yet. I know that when I asked the track director, they said hopefully sometime in October. But their person who did that kind of thing was on vacation at the time, and since they were all volunteers, um, it might take longer. And I was like, that's totally cool. I just wanted to make sure that they were going to be up. So just a tidbit. At some point, the fantasy track from Dragon Con will have those panels up. When they do, I will of course notify social media about it, so the people who are interested in watching me ramble on panels will be able to. Do you see Greg helping out the Academy or being sent out to something boring? You will find out a couple of months after I do. Do you see a problem with scaling in antecedents, i.e., what they will have to face next? No? I mean, what they have to face is going to be a lot along the same lines of what we've seen. Um, like you said, it's going to be a matter of scale. There might be more bugs. And if people are listening, you bring more ships, you bring more mecha. The thing that will be the biggest issue is if they run into something that is intelligent. But size and scale, it's the same for battles on Earth. You start squad size, then it goes up and up and up, and eventually you have a war, and then you have a world war. Scaling is scaling. Given the choice, what spheres would you like to possess in Heavenly Chaos? Ooh, we definitely like regeneration. I would love my body to be in the best physical shape it can be in. I'm in I'm in my mid to late 40s at this point. I would really love to have my body not hurt like it does. That would be amazing. Um, I mean that's just me. I mean, if you're going that route and you're a holder anyway, then something about the whole aging process is different. But at the moment, just how I feel at the moment, that would be a big one. I would love that. Um, and then the rest comes down to we haven't seen. I would say we haven't seen a big enough selection yet for me to really pick. And if normal ranking up and slowing down the aging process would also get rid of some of the aches and pains I currently feel, then I wouldn't feel as big on needing regeneration either. So, do you plan to come back to Colorado for another LRPG Con? I'll be there in 26. I've already made my plans for it. Um, and then it's going to depend on what and where and how Lit RPG Con goes. The hotel that they had it at last year and are going to have it again this year, um, very well might hit capacity, and they might have to look at different a different space for the convention. And then how and where and everything else will depend on that. Until it happens, until it comes out, Brian, I don't get excited. It has been years since what we had of Gate was out. So until it is out and I can watch it, no, I don't get excited because I don't believe it. Oh, I already know. So I already know that answer. There's there are things I know that you guys do not. What con is your favorite one? Is there something event? So before last year, I would have said Dragon Con. It was really the only convention I attended. I got to see all my friends, all of my officers, all the people who helped me with Discord, with Facebook, running Kickstarter, um, possibly see Andy. It was the only convention I attended. Very big. Um, I did that. That was it. Lit RPG Con, since it is a convention that just happened last year and is going to happen this coming year, and then hopefully into the foreseeable future, that is geared specifically towards lit RPG and game lit, very well might become the con that I attend. I am not going to attend lit RPG con in mid-January, or sorry, January, mid-July, and then attend Dragon Con at the end of August. I did that this year. I am not doing it next year. I'm not going to be at Dragon Con next year. And then in 27, I'll do them both again. And then I will decide if Lit RPG Con is continuing to grow and progress and become the big thing everyone in the genre hopes it is going to be. That will be the convention I go to. But at the moment, it has been Dragon Con because it has been the place I can go and see everyone. If I can do that exact same thing at Lit RPG Con, where it's cheaper, because Dragon Con is crazy, it's big, it's expensive. You have to try to get the rooms, and it's a thing. And then my favorite thing to do at cons is I have dinners, business dinners, and then friend dinners during those conventions, where I get to sit down, have a meal with people I care about, catch up on things that maybe we didn't discuss online. Those are what I look forward to the most. Um, Being able to interact with fans is important, and I love it. Being on panels is great. I have enjoyed the majority of panels I've been on, but being able to sit down and have a meal with friends will always be something that I look forward to the most. I've already made my reservations. I've made my plans for being there, having a table to give things away again. So Lit RPG Con in 26 is going to be big, and I'm not doing Dragon Con in 26. So we know that in Heavenly Chaos, people can be stripped of their spheres. Can those stripped spheres be reused, or are they tainted or destroyed upon removal? Was not addressed in the series, so at the moment, it is open for fan interpretation. Has if it has not been specifically addressed in the series, it is open for fan interpretation until such time that I actually mention it. I should go back through the series and take notes of all the spheres mentioned in Heavenly Chaos. I mean, I have a really good short list of them because we haven't had as much discussion with some of the people who are more advanced in ranks and what they have, because they don't a lot of people don't talk about them. So I have one question left, guys. You can fix that. I know you can. No, I don't want it to be as lit as 25 was. I don't want the hotel to catch fire again, Holly. 26 flights of stairs down was not kind to my knees. It can be just as fun. I would like it to not be on fire. Have you ever thought about doing a book where the MC dies and takes over his body in a different world? It's not the same in that world like magic and everything else. So Sean becomes Sean on Earth, but it's a magic Earth? Rain? Is that what you're asking? Because I've done the MC died and goes to another world, notably Sean in Binding Words. And technically, since the gods of craft made his body to look a lot like the body he had, are you specifically, like I said, and I need that clarified. Are you specifically asking, like I said, for Sean to be in Sean's body on Earth, but it's like an alternate Earth instead? Because if that's what you're asking, no, I haven't. That's that's the short answer. I have like a million ideas for things that could happen. But that was one that I had not considered. It's not one I have plans of. So, guys, it's the last question unless you tops me more of them. In Heavenly Chaos, every holder is based on groups of threes. Will the series be focused primary on Ben's group and Victor's and Reba's secondaries? The series is going to be focused on Ben's group. With the early going being the academy setting and everything that's been going on, having Victor's group basically be there and friendly, and then Reba's group also ending up friendly and whatnot for them. That's just what happens. Am I planning on running them like side by side the entire way through the series? No, but I don't plan either. I just tell you what my characters tell me. So but no, I don't expect that. I have answered all the questions. And I do need to stop by 4. It has been over an hour. So we will go ahead and call it here, guys. We'll have a short live chat for the day. I know I blasted through those questions very quickly this time. But we're gonna go ahead and call it early so I can make sure that I am done by 4 and I am not causing problems later. So thank you all for coming. The next live chat is November the 15th, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, so on and so forth. If it's not already up, there will be a Discord event scheduled so you can see what that equates out to your own time zones, especially for those of you across the pond. But 5 p.m. Pacific it's like 7 or 8 hours from here to I think Greenwich Mean Witch time. So it's like 1 in the morning. This one was like 10 o'clock at night. So there is that. I do not have any other like major giveaways coming again until May. May when I became a full-time writer, October when I became a published author. Those are the 2 extra things I do. Next year in 26 October will have been will be the 10-year anniversary of me being a published author. There are some things that I've considered doing, and I still need to talk to people and arrange stuff to possibly make things happen. And I probably should start moving on that at some point, especially since I'm not doing Dragon Con next year. So anyway, thank you guys for coming. If I want to stop, I need to stop and not keep rambling about things. I will see you next month. Stay safe out there, though, because the world is crazy and crazy and crazier every fucking day. Bye.